Okay. Hey guys, it is Niall and Tomas from the Niall Eurovision Podcast, and we are currently live from Malmöhagen. What?
It's just funny that this is actually like our first video that we're recording in the same room.
Yeah, I don't. It feels weird. I feel like you should be on that half of the screen.
Just put like a divider between us.
Yes. Don't get on my side.
COVID times. Like.
So, yes, today is Tuesday, the 7th of May, and it is semi-final one day. So we're getting ready to go to both shows today, the afternoon preview and semi-final one, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk more about it. But Thomas has already spent a couple of days in Malmö, so I think he was going to tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, so basically on day one, I arrived around noon, and a friend of mine and I, we sort of tried to get towards the red carpet, or like the turquoise carpet.
Yeah.
We didn't succeed. Apparently you could watch it like from across a bridge or something, but I've heard people say that you couldn't really see much because the press was sort of like on that side.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really see the art or like much of the art.
And didn't it go inside for a little while anyway because of the weather?
I don't know, because like we literally didn't see anything of it. So we got towards like the hotel. And there was I think it was like a sort of a park next to it, and behind that building, that's where the carpet thing was. Mm-hmm. But we were just standing there. There was a lot of people standing there as well, and we were kind of like, okay, so what are those people, these fans, doing here? Like, Is something happening here? It was a hotel, so I figured maybe some of the artists are staying in this hotel. And then about 10 minutes later, a bus stops, and Croatia gets out. So we saw Baby Lasagna, managed to take a picture from his back. Because he didn't have any time to stop and take pictures. And then we were like, oh, we're at the right spot. They're all going to arrive here by bus. This is where we should
stay.
Yeah.
Let's park ourselves here.
Yeah, so we stayed there. No one else came. Apparently they were all already there. We did get lucky to see Slimane leave that hotel. So he was obviously staying in that hotel. Some people got pictures with him. I did not. Unfortunately, he did not have any time. Then two more buses stopped, and we were like, who's in those buses? It was just a bunch of kids. I don't know what the kids were doing.
And they're like, why are you staring at us?
Because it was the same...
You weirdo adults.
It was the same bus like the one that Croatia had gotten off. But, okay, so that was nothing. Apparently, Martin Österdahl also got out of a taxi and went into the hotel. And there was a moment where when I was talking to people, the one that I just told you about, the people that I met, and everybody just sort of like went quiet. People were talking, and all of a sudden, everyone went like quiet for like 10 seconds.
We need to be on our best behavior in front of the executive supervisor.
I have no idea what was happening. And then our friend Stacey, she told me afterwards, okay, it was Martin Österdahl getting out. I don't know if people went quiet because they hate him now, or
they were like, what the reason was. We need to behave in front of the executive supervisor, otherwise we'll get kicked out of the arena. That's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was what we did on day one. But then yesterday was a super fun day. So we went to the Emporia Rooftop Lounge, which was hosted by Wiwibloggs. Massive thank you to Wiwibloggs for hosting that event. It was amazing.
I've got so much FOMO. I was flying over. I was in the airport lounge getting photos sent to me from Thomas, and I was just like, I should have came the day before. I was like, why am I only in the airport now? I was getting so much FOMO.
Yeah, but at least they're doing it every day now, the whole week, so we can still catch some of the other artists. But that was a lot of fun. So we basically, they put up like a sort of a tent, and there was a small podium, a stage. They put in a couch on the stage.
That couch looks comfy.
It did look comfy. Yeah. They had cushions in it. They had their camera installed. The weather was kind of like dodgy. It started raining, so we were at the sides sitting on like wooden benches with cushions, and we were like, oh, we've got a good view here on the side. And people were sitting on chairs outside of the tent in front of the stage, but like a while back. And then it looked like it was going to start to rain, and I think it was Suzanne that went like, oh, if you guys want to come inside the tent, you can. So everybody in their chairs just grabbed their chair and went in, and we were like, shit, we're still on the side outside. We did manage to get into the tent. So basically, the artists went up to the rooftop. They went sort of kind of like a backstage area that they'd made. And then they called them on stage. They did interviews with them. Then they did a little Q&A, so some of the fans could ask questions. And then there was an opportunity to take photos with them. So I got lucky enough to have been able to grab a seat in the front row after Saba had come on stage. So I was able to get pictures with all of them, which was super cool.
So yesterday was Marcus and Martinez.
So Marcus and Martinez were first,
Then
for
Saba.
Sweden, then Saba for Denmark. Then I think it was Nutsa from Georgia, Colleen from Austria came.
Angelina.
Armenia came,
Oh,
Ladaniva, Angelina from Italy, and Sara Bonici
Oh yeah.
from Malta came.
Honestly, star-studded.
Yeah, I was. I really was. So normally there weren't going to be any performances, but Ladaniva from Armenia, they did treat us to an acoustic version of Jako. And they also performed a second song that is apparently going to be on one of their next albums or projects. I don't know.
Sneak peeks.
Yeah. Which was super, super lovely. Like, that was honestly... Armenia is already one of my favorite songs of the year. It's been in my top 5 ever since we reacted to the song. But that was honestly the highlight of the entire day. And they got the crowd going when they were performing that acoustic version. They had their whole band up on stage. And even though that she doesn't really speak much English, like she was good enough to be able to like convey the message of her song, but she doesn't speak English that well. And yet she still got the whole crowd going. People were cheering, people were smiling, people were dancing, singing along as much as they can.
And you've sent me a video where she's basically closer to you than I am to you right now. Like, she was like in front of you.
That was insane. So basically there was so you had a stage and then they had ribbons, so you had to like stay behind ribbons. So she was singing, at some point she gets off the stage in front of the ribbon, and then she was like, fuck this ribbon. And she just like went under the ribbon, and I was on the front row, so I was sitting like this, and she was literally like here, like right in front of me, and I was just like looking at her like that. She was like literally in front of me.
And she's stunning as well.
She is beautiful, and I have to say, her vocal is insane. It's so, so, so beautiful. I was just mesmerized. I just stared at her for like a good 10 minutes while she was performing both songs.
The straightest he's ever been.
Yeah, exactly. And at some point she even kneeled down, and then she was literally like this in front of me, and she's like singing her heart out, and she's looked at me in my eyes, and I was kind of like with my phone like this, filming.
Being serenaded in Armenian.
It was amazing. So yeah, a big thank you to Ladaniva. They really did so well. It was I think that for a lot of people that was a highlight. They're obviously not the biggest favorite, and they weren't the biggest favorite in the lineup from yesterday, but I really think they got the biggest reaction from the crowd, just because they really riled everyone up.
Yeah.
They were just she was doing ad-libs, and she was making the crowd sing along. It was so much fun.
My word I keep saying about some songs and artists is just it's vibes. It's about vibes a lot of the time. So if you can be that energetic and fun, you're going to give the crowd energy and give them fun. Which at the end of the day is also a vote getter if you're fun. Look at Moldova 2022. Like,
Yeah.
no one was really thinking anything seriously about that song, but the energy just brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can only hope that they get the same response in the arena like Moldova did in that year. So yeah, that definitely was a highlight. But I have to say, all of them were really, really lovely. They all took their time to to answer the questions. They took their time to take pictures because they've got really tight schedules. So it's really so thankful that because I think like at some point for some of the artists there were like hundreds of people wanting pictures and then autographs and so it was kind of like the fact that they're doing this in between everything else that they have to be doing, like rehearsals, and they need to get their rest, It was just amazing. And I have to say, so the first stop was Sweden. It was Marcus and Martinez. And I want to say this again. They are getting so much hate on the internet for no reason whatsoever. They are absolutely lovely. They were both of them. They were a riot. They were bloody hilarious. Like the whole crowd was laughing during the Q&A and during the interview as well, because they were cracking jokes the whole time. At some point, I think during the interview, Suzanne she said something, or something made a noise, and I don't know which of the two it was, if it was Marcus or Martinez, I can't remember, started singing "She is unprofessional," which was hilarious. Like the whole crowd just started laughing. So they were cracking jokes, but they were super lovely. They were super nice. They were very excited to be there. You could tell that they were loving the crowd's reaction. So please just stop the hate towards any of the contestants, not just them.
I don't even think it's just the contestants. For me, I've just seen a general vibe with some people that's just anti everything. It's it's just not. It sucks a lot of the fun out of Eurovision, a lot of the joy.
Yeah.
I'd say, who cares what size the stage is compared to last year's stage? Who cares about the village compared to this year's village? In the grand scheme of things, who really cares about the qualification graphics? The amount of stuff I'm seeing about everything, and it's negative, and I'm just like, oh, let's just try and be positive, have fun. Obviously, we'd be amiss to say that we are still hoping that people can donate to medical aid for Palestinians. Obviously, we've seen the news over the last 24 hours. And it's sickening. It's really the only word. But we are going to try and focus on the joy that Eurovision brings, but not shy away from the fact that this is happening. I mean, just look at what Erik Saade said as well, because he's been very vocal about the fact that Israel shouldn't be in the competition, and we've all been loud and screaming from the top of our lungs on every social media platform, pleading the EBU to kick Israel out of Eurovision. It didn't work. And then Erik Saade said, okay, so we tried that, it didn't work. Now the most important thing that we can do is be there and voice our opinion there. So let's just do that. Let's focus on that. And people also need to, when it comes to the complaining about SVT the whole time, people need to understand the circumstances as well. There's a reason why there wasn't any crowd during the turquoise carpet. Yeah. It's because of safety. There are literally armed police officers everywhere throughout the city. They are everywhere. They are not there in a menacing way at all. I don't feel unsafe or anything, but they are everywhere. They're on rooftops. They're at every corner. There's even security in bars. Last night we went to a bar. There was a security. I don't suppose he's there usually. No. On a Monday night in the middle of Malmö, when it's fairly quiet normally, I don't see there normally being security.
Yeah. So people need to realize there's a reason why everything's a little more demure this year. It's not because SVT don't care or because they're tired of hosting. It's because there's a lot going on in the world and they need to be as careful as they can.
And not only do they need to be as careful as they can, but we're in a cost of living crisis throughout the continent. Things are extortionate. We're in the UK, in Glasgow at least, we saw a festival get cancelled with 2 weeks' notice because they can't afford it. Because costs are high. So to still be able to put on a show like this is amazing. We need to remember with Liverpool, UK hadn't hosted since 97.
Yeah.
The UK hadn't come close to winning in half of that time. And there was money from the government brought into it as well. It wasn't just the BBC, there was money from central government. So I think we need to also bear that in mind. That there might not be the same budget, but to do whatever you can is fine. And also just again on the Israel thing, as much as we can all be unhappy that Israel are taking part, there shouldn't be any hate directed towards Eden directly. Of course, she is representing Israel, but that doesn't mean that she is doing the same actions that they're doing. So I think you can be distasteful. You can have be disappointed, upset, and stuff like that, but it shouldn't be personal hatred, in my opinion.
No, and do you know what it also is? We were talking about that last night, or yesterday in the afternoon, rather, at the rooftop lounge with a couple of people. We also have to take into consideration that these people in Israel right now, they are getting a completely different picture from what is going on than we are. We see a lot more than they do. They don't really, and I'm not saying that they don't have access to the internet, but they're basically being brainwashed, and that doesn't excuse it, but it does play a role. It's the same with what's happening in Ukraine. Like, Russians are really being fed a completely different narrative about the war than we are. So you need to take that into consideration. So I also wouldn't I'm honestly not a fan of Eden Golan. I do think that it is it sort of bugs me a little bit that she's so excited about doing this when she knows what's going on in her country. So that does bug me a little bit. So I do, but that still doesn't mean that we need to be giving her death threats on the internet. Like, I've seen so many threats on the internet where it's like, are you kidding me? So your response to violence is more violence. Basically, that's what you're saying. So if that's what you want, then you can just go ahead and
I think as what we are saying, we got deep there. I wasn't planning on going deep, but I think it is important to still talk about it. But if you're going to make as much noise as possible about what's happening, do that about the right thing. So make that donating money to charities. Obviously, we've got the link to medical aid for Palestinians, which we are donating to as well. Retweet credible news sources, retweet Palestinian voices who are telling us what are happening. That's what to focus your energy on, and also your governments. I think as much as we would have liked to have seen a change in Eurovision this year, it's too late. It's not going to happen. So
no, it's not going to.
As Eric sadly said, we just need to deal with it and make our voices heard in a constructive way.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's a good wee intro to Malmöhagen. Definitely got a little bit more deep. So today we've got the semi-final one. Oh, we're rooting for Ireland and Croatia and Lithuania.
My God, Ireland! Look, there. Apparently, the whole staging was published on the. I don't know if it was leaked or anything. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I saw the 30-second clip that the Irish broadcaster released, which looks absolutely insane. Apparently, Bambi did get one of the biggest reactions during the jury show last night. Yeah,
first in the press poll and second in the audience.
First in the press poll. I didn't know that.
First in the press poll, second in the audience poll. So to think this is Ireland.
Yeah,
Ireland. They've not qualified in 5 years, and if you look at the odds, they're currently fifth to win the whole thing. So I think we're looking forward to that. It looks like it's just going to be a really good show.
Yeah.
So we, after the two shows today, we are going to the Wee Jam back here in Copenhagen, and we are going to try and give a roundup of what's happened at semi-final one tomorrow. So you might see us quite hungover depending how much fun we have tonight. But no, it's everywhere's lovely. Sweden, Copenhagen, Malmö, everyone's just been really nice. And lovely, and the weather's a lot nicer today than it was.
Oh, it is. We've closed the blinds now for lighting, but
you can see that how much light is.
Yeah, the weather is beautiful today, so that's a lot of fun. Because it wasn't horrible yesterday, but it did rain at some moments. So
I got lost in Copenhagen because I didn't know where I was going at first, but I got there. And I lost my phone within 5 minutes of being in the hotel because I left it at reception. It was fantastic. So if I don't make it home, I've lost my passport or something like that. Yeah. But we will probably just see you tomorrow with an update if we survive, because I think you're already planning on passing away with Eric Sadi, Benjamin Ingrosso, Chanel, Eleni.
So I think tonight it's Eric Sade, Eleni Forera and Chanel.
Yep.
I think Benjamin Ingrosso
He's tonight as well.
Is he tonight?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, then I am going to pass out. I'm going to try and get as close to the stage as I can for the afternoon preview.
We're standing. I mean, that would be a bit difficult when you're sitting for the live show tonight. But
Yeah.
yeah, we will keep you up to date as much as we can. And we are so excited to be here. And we still can't believe we're doing this. We're doing this in the same room.
Yeah, this is weird.
There's no like delay. We're not interrupting each other as much.
Exactly. We will be posting more pictures from yesterday's Wiwibloggs Emporia Rooftop Lounge. I took loads of pictures. I made some videos. I made some videos during the interviews. I should tell you that obviously the interview was done for YouTube for Wiwibloggs. So
go check them out.
When I was at the front,
yeah,
just go and check out the interviews. They're really fun interviews, I have to say. I was in the front row for a lot of them, so you might be able to hear something. I'd have to check the audio to see if you can hear it, but obviously they were speaking to a mic in a mic, but obviously the mic wasn't connected to the speakers for us. So I'll check to see if I can post clips of those interviews maybe.
But yeah,
but definitely a lot of pictures are coming on Twitter. I'm going to try and post them on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
And
Niall
on the
blogs.
And on
blogs. I can't remember what's our site called.
Look, it's Wiwibloggs and niallpoints.
Okay.
It's his own blog. Like, it's got his name in the blog, and he still can't remember what it's called.
I'm tired.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll blame that, not the fact that I'm an idiot. But yeah, check them out. Keep an eye. We're probably just going to be focusing on Twitter and Instagram. So do check them out. There is niallpoints.com, but that will be a little bit slow to the update because we're busy. There's lots going on,
especially this week.
This is one of the busiest weeks of our lives. But yeah, we will see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye. Does this work as well? Oh, look!
Oh my god, it's covering your face. Thank God. All right. Bye, guys.